Blessed Sunday, brothers and sisters, and thank you for joining us in this Healing Eucharist on the 20th Sunday in Ordinary Time. And in the Gospel, Jesus said, I have come to set the earth on fire. Do you think I have come to establish peace on earth? No, I tell you, but rather division. Very difficult gospel. Very difficult gospel. And these kind of words of Jesus are the type that, why we would understand that, put him in trouble. You know, the first reading from the prophet Jeremiah already intimate to us the kind of message that this gospel brings. Jeremiah, you know, is quite a sentimental prophet, but very symbolic as well. But as narrated in the first reading, he had to suffer being thrown into a cistern sa well. Itinapon siya doon to die. Why? Because he was perceived to be a troublemaker. A prophet speaks and then perceived to be a troublemaker, so they wanted to eliminate him. Because that's what prophets do. They speak, they confront, they challenge. And in Jesus, that's what he was doing as well. Probably one reason why they think Jesus was a revolutionary, almost seditious, almost going against the government. Probably even one reason why they wanted to put him to death. The political reason, so to say, why they charged him and put him to death. Because he said, I have come not to establish peace on the earth. No. But actually, it challenges this thinking that, ikaw tama rin. O siya, tama rin. Oo, lahat tama. Wala nang sinabing mali. No? And this is the type also of who would say, do not rock the boat. Tumahimik ka na lang para walang away. If that is your dialogue, you will not become a prophet. Because a prophet would not compromise. The prophet would always speak the truth. And that truth is the one that becomes the reason then why Jesus will be a sign of contradiction, why he would be opposed, why he would cause division. Truth. Kailangan sabihin ang katotohanan. Jesus was never a crowd pleaser, but will confront his listeners with what is right and true. Remember, there's a saying, the Lord comes to comfort the disturbed and to disturb the comfortable. And so the teachings of Jesus can cause a deep divide even with people who are closest to us. In today's gospel, he even said, in one's household, there can be division. When we read that gospel, it actually sounded some of the families and some of the household, umaga pa lang, bangayan na, no? Hindi pa natatapos ang gabi, ay labanan na. But there's a different reason here in today's gospel why even a household, the family that we wanted to be united, can be conflicted and in contradiction to one another. Now, one of the most endangered of all, the commodity that is endangered of all time, is this truth. Truth is being destroyed by lies and fakery. Harap-harapang tinatago, inililibing ang katotohanan kahit sa public forum, social media, o kahit sometimes in mainstream media. So, pinaglalabanan itong katotohanan. And I remember what Bishop or Archbishop Soc Villegas speaking once about truth in a homily. And he said, truth, one of its real characteristic is that it is confrontational. Para sa atin, wag na lang confrontational. Subtle lang, tahimik lang. But truth is always confrontational. You cannot tell and speak of the truth and expect everybody to like you. You will have to be ready for people treating you as enemies, even if you do not treat them as enemies. When you speak the truth, of course, liars will not like you. Ang katotohanan ay laging may nasasagasaan at nasasaktan, kahit na hindi yun ang intensyon mo ng paghahanap at pagsasabi ng katotohanan. So, some people will attack you and attempt to discredit and destroy you. But we have to emphasize that confronting people with truth is not to create conflict and animosity. It is not for us to feel proud that we are always tama or tayo na lang palagi ang tama and that others are lesser of a person than us. No, that's not the intention for telling the truth. Telling the truth is not to humiliate and condemn. And secondly, the good Archbishop Soc Villegas said, truth always challenges. We speak and share the truth because we want liars to change. It is true that we speak the truth so that those who are malabo about the truth or even outrightly peddlers of lies and fakes to be convinced and converted to the stronger foundation of truth. We challenge those under the darkness of ignorance and lies to see the light of truth. So yes, truth aims to convert and to change. And only if the other person responds in conversion and change can truth be liberating. And so finally, the true aim of truth is to liberate, to unite, to gather, to build, to heal, to console, to forgive, to understand, to respect, and to be strong, but it has to stand on the solid ground of truth. So now, brothers and sisters, when we read today's gospel and Jesus says there will be division, it is because of this important commodity that is truth. And so, truth is personified in Jesus. Jesus is the incarnation of God, the incarnation of truth. And that is why in this world that is opposed to the truth of God, they will also oppose those who follow Jesus. There's a saying, we may lose much following Christ, but we will never lose our soul. So by this gospel, Jesus is teaching us that to follow Him means also to have the capacity to accept conflicts in our lives. First, it will be an internal conflict which we will experience while we are not yet fully converted to Christ. But this may also mean external. A father against the son, a mother against a daughter, a mother-in-law against the daughter-in-law. This conflict, relational conflict, when we also are motivated by love and charity, when we bring Christ to them and bring them to Christ. The peace that Jesus promises is the peace of the conscience. People might not like you, people might go against you, but if you tell the truth, if you do what is right, then in conscience, you will have the peace. And so, brothers and sisters, following Jesus is not an easy road to take, but it is the only road worth taking. Amen.